freezedryguy.com. Call toll-free 866-404-3663. freezedryguy.com.
Can heart and body extract help with other ailments besides heart conditions, high blood pressure, clogged arteries, or unbalanced cholesterol? It did for Karen.
I've been using heart and body extract for approximately 2 weeks. I've had a build-up problem for many years, with over-the-counter stuff not working at all. I had very poor hearing due to this earwax buildup. Well, after 2 weeks of taking heart and body extract, my earwax buildup almost completely cleared up. Could this be the effect of better body circulation?
Heart and Body Extract is an effective 100% organic nutritional supplement specially formulated to allow your body to heal itself.
My hearing is almost completely back to normal. I'm amazed.
Order by calling 866-295-5305 or online at hbextract.com. That's 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract for long and healthy life.
Can I share something with you? Have you noticed more people are grumpy and angry and agitated and so on? It seems mean people are everywhere. We at Life Change Tea have noticed this phenomena and think we know why. It is because people don't feel good. Bad health, overweight, and when your body doesn't feel good, you can get grumpy. So if you feel grumpy and your body doesn't feel good, then give your body some Life Change Tea. All natural, good tasting, body cleansing Life Change Tea. So here's how to order this life changing product. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Learn why we named our tea Life Change Tea. Feel great, be happy, get the tea. That's getthetea.com.
You're listening to The Micro Effect.
The Micro Effect Broadcasting Network.
And welcome and good evening, everyone. And as always, this is the Whole Agenda Radio Show, and I'm so pleased to have every one of you who tune into this program. I bless you and thank you for supporting this show. And as always, we try to bring you the best guests with all the latest information on what's going on. And this evening, we have ALMA Guthrie. Also known as ATMA, and you're going to find out all about her right after Paul. So right now we have Paul Landers, our news correspondent with the news, and then we'll be back with our guests. Everybody stick with us.
Landers, the Whole Agenda Radio Show, broadcasting to you live on the Micro Effect Network. New York, an Occupy Wall Street protester landed a job with a New York investment firm by holding a sign saying she was seeking full-time employment. Tracy Posteritz said she spent 15 days as part of the protest at Zuccotti Park before landing a job with John Thomas Financial Brokerage. Posteritz said she was on her 10th day of her protest when Wayne Kaufman, chief market analysis for the firm, spotted her sign reading PhD biomedical scientist seeking full-time employment. Coughlin took a copy of her resume, and a few days later she was called in for an interview. I'd been unemployed for so long, I thought, why not, she said. She said she accepted a position as a junior analyst evaluating medical companies as potential investments. She said her starting salary is near minimum wage, but she was told she could eventually make six figures with the company. She was ranting about Wall Street, and now she's working on Wall Street. Banks are not so bad. I hope we have opened her eyes, said Chief Executive Officer Thomas Belesis. Kansas City. Police in Missouri said an accused carjacker was arrested after a passenger exchanged text messages with a friend in a following car. Kansas City police said Antonio Jackson, 27, of Kansas City, allegedly pointed a gun at two women who were leaving a party at a peanut bar downtown and ordered them to get into their front seats of their Toyota. And that's when he discovered they were not carrying any cash. So he ordered the women to take him to a nearby ATM. But a friend leaving the party approached the vehicle before they left and asked the women if they were okay, just had kind of a bad feeling. The friend who could not see because there were the windows were tinted in the car, couldn't see Jackson in the back seat, said the women responded they were okay, but he was worried by the his friend's facial expression, and so he decided to follow their vehicle. He then sent a text message to the passenger asking again if they were okay, and she responded, "No, call cops." So he continued to follow the SUV and called 911. Police say the driver withdrew $300 from an ATM, gave it to the carjacker before police pulled the vehicle over. Jackson, who was found in possession of the $300 as well as a semi-automatic handgun, was charged with first-degree robbery, kidnapping, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. Chicago. An alleged armed robber picked the wrong victim. Got into a tussle, left him wounded, bruised, and in cuffs. Anthony Miranda, 24, faces charges including discharging a weapon during a robbery after approaching a 33-year-old man sitting in a car and asking him for a light before pulling a gun and demanding his valuables. The victim complied and the gunman ordered him out of the car. That's when the driver grabbed for the gun, and during the struggle, Miranda shot himself in the ankle. The victim, who held his assailant until police arrived, told officers he is a mixed martial arts competitor. Miranda is on parole for a burglary conviction, is being held for $350,000 bail. Opelika, Florida. A Florida woman was jailed this morning accused of trying to sell her 8-month-old son to raise $7,000. Kenia Bass, 30, of Opelika, Florida, was arrested at her apartment and was jailed and in lieu of $5,000 bond. Authorities allegedly recorded 4 telephone calls between Bosk and an informant discussing her desire to sell her child. Bosk placed her son in harm by attempting to sell the child, which could cause emotional trauma to the child, the arrest document stated. Albuquerque. A New Mexico man is being hailed on a $100,000 cash bail after getting arrested with what officials say is his 16th DWI. Police say Johnny Ignacio was arrested after authorities say he passed out behind a wheel and blocked traffic at an Albuquerque intersection. His arrest comes as Governor Susan Martinez, she's public safety officials and groups like Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, have been vowing once again to push lawmakers to pass a package of bills aimed at repeated drunk drivers. I think 16 times is enough on that one. And then finally for this evening, the only reason people get lost in thought is because it's unfamiliar territory. Well, that's it for me tonight. This has been Paul Lanish for the Whole Agenda Radio Show. Robert will be right up with tonight's special guest. Thank you and good night.
welcome back, everybody. And this is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pino. And this evening, Monday, December 5th, we have a very special guest. Her name is ALMA Guthrie, also known as ATMA. Had her very first contact with her cosmic guide in 1987, and it has changed her life. As a child growing up in Mexico, in a small town, spiritual masters and cosmic light beings visited her. Many psychic and paranormal, out-of-body, and UFO experiences and sightings resulted in her being open to receive transmissions through automatic writing and telepathic messages from her guide known as Juno, and other beings of light, including the Cosmic Brotherhood and the enlightened masters of the hierarchy. She is clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and a telepath. Alma's life purpose is to bring forth cosmic awareness and enlightenment. She is here to help us connect with others of the universe. Alma, welcome to the broadcast. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me on your program.
Well,
I hope that will be very enlightening for everyone.
And I hope so too, and I hope you can bring a lot of things to rest, and maybe not. We don't know at this point the way things are transpiring on this planet, both physically for the planet and physically for human beings at this moment. But Alma, that was just a quick synopsis of your life. I'd like to take the very first half hour of this show and go ahead and really get into depth of how this all came about for you.
I want to say to the audience that I never took any type of metaphysical classes or even meditated. I didn't know what spirit guides were or crystals or energy. I was going to San Diego State University to be a teacher. So an aunt of mine had been studying metaphysical topics for 16 years. She visited me in 1987. And when I was curious about her crystals and meditation to help me with my studies at San Diego State University to relax, I began to meditate that night. Entering the meditative state, I totally lost myself into a state of beingness that is very difficult to explain to the audience, but it's a state of unconditional love, warmth. It just encompasses your whole being. It's a state that you don't want to come out of. And it's a bright, bright sun that appeared in my third eye. And in that bright, bright sun was my guide that appeared, and he gave me his name. He said his name was Juno, and that he was my spiritual guide and would be with me always. And then another spiritual guide appeared inside the sun in my third eye. They were vibrating, like molecularly they were manifesting in vibrations. She appeared, and her name was Dalia, and that she would be with me when I would call upon her. I had no idea what spiritual guides were or what was happening to me. I believed I was dreaming. I could not hear my aunt. But when I came out of this meditative state, my aunt asked me what I had experienced. And my husband at that time was also meditating. My cousins were with me, and my daughter. I was the only one that had this paranormal, what I would believe would be a dream. I thought it was in a dream state. But my aunt was so shocked when I told her that I saw the sun inside my third eye and a manifestation of a beautiful being, humanoid, beautiful being, but of all light, just a radiant light being. And she asked me if he had given me his name. And I said, yes. He said his name was Juno and that he was my spiritual guide and would be with me always. She was shocked. She said that that didn't happen, that that was an incident that just doesn't happen. She studied over 16 years and was going to even the monks, preparing herself, and many others prepare themselves for years, and they don't achieve what they are searching for. But what I now believe is that I was activated at that moment because it was meant for my activation to begin at that moment. My Aunt Heidi was the instrument that they sent to activate me in that one meditative state, which I never knew what meditation was. So I just entered in a state of just unconditional love, radiant light. It's an energy I can't describe. You don't want to come out of that love. And I was introduced for the first time to my guide. From 3 months after that, everything followed. Clairvoyantly, clairaudiently, psychometry. They started giving me messages through automatic writing. Started going into trance state, lying down. They would lie me down on the bed or the couch. Then they started to sit me up and giving me the transmission sitting up. Then they started working with me where I would be standing up, and the message would begin to come through. Then they had me walking while I was in full trance state. So they prepared me for the first 3 months, and for the first year, 1989, I went public in Vegas for 3 days. So after that, everything followed. I kept my work very private because I'm from a Christian Catholic background, that my family totally disowned me because to them I would be like a disciple of darkness. This was not something that they could comprehend. They could not digest the information that was coming through of benevolent cosmic brotherhood, wishing to assist the human race in the next evolutionary cycle, and why I was here to assist. And so many are on the planet, such as me, and we're all working together in different ways to bring about a shift in consciousness to a higher vibration. It will be a new humanity. We will be more humane. And the process right now is being speeded up. That's why everybody is realizing that time is just passing so quickly. Many say time is collapsing, but it is a reality of the time frequency change as we're moving forward. But it's not really 2012 you all have to be concerned about. It's basically we're already in 2012 because everything's unbalanced. Our time frequency, since the Mayans began to register the time with the assistance of our cosmic brotherhood, they had the right method, but it was distorted. So now everything's unbalanced. So we are living in those times, and they are assisting. They have always assisted so we can have a smooth transition. So in a short, brief explanation of my life, I have always had these abilities since I was born. My mother, being a school teacher in Mexico in a very rural town, while she was pregnant from me, she had a visitation from 3 UFO'S that almost landed so closely to her roof of the school. So she went outside and they spoke to her. In her mind, she told me this. Everything she told me about her experiences, I remember everything she has passed on.
Alma, was this before... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Was this before you were born?
Yes, before I was born. I was born in 47, right after the war. And in the town that my mother lived in, it was a very small town, no electricity, no running water. My mother was very young as a school teacher. She was correcting papers, and the children were outside playing. And they called her to go outside because they had seen 3 plates floating in the air. So she went outside and looked at them. She told me that they were so close. She could see the whole imaging. She told me how they floated, how they would move, and that they spoke to her in her mind, and that they were there to bless my mother for carrying me in her womb, and that basically they said I was one of them. So this is a statement I'm saying only because my mother was the one that told me this, and this is the information she got from them, and that they were always going to be with me all my life, watching over me, monitoring everything I was doing, and that I was going to be a vehicle for them. And my mother was blessed for choosing to be my mother for the period of time she was on Earth.
Well, let me ask. Alma, let me ask you this: do you think that they intervened somehow? That, in other words, do you believe that they were part of the process of bringing you into this this physical being here at this time?
That in what way? They knew of my birth.
Right,
So
but were they a part of it in any way? Meaning that were maybe you a product of them, so to speak.
Yeah. That's what my mom said. They told her I was one of them. They said a being of light in a human form, that I had taken the human form. And there's many on the planet walking among the human race. And we all have a purpose. And there's many other races walking here on Earth. They all have different agendas. And my mother's purpose was just basically to be my mom, to keep me alive for a period of, for the first 3-4 years, because I was born very different. I would not accept the mother's milk. I would not accept bottled milk. So I was ill from birth on. I was just being fed tea. So the illnesses that attacked my physical body was to end my life. So who saved my life was one of my guides who entered my body. By entering my body is to maintain my body alive, to be able to withstand the food, the atmosphere, the pressure, everything on the planet for a couple of years. It would be called like a walk-in. So this walk-in guide stayed with me for quite some time until the age of 5. That I never crawled, I never walked, I never ran like normal children. So by the age of 5, that's when my energies returned to my body and my health. So walking was able to leave. My original spirit came through my body, and I was able then to take over. So my visitations then began from the age of 5 on. Light masters used to come into my room. Balls of light used to come into my room. There's so many things that happened to me as a child and growing up. So paranormal experiences, out-of-body experiences, prophetic visions. I would tell my mother all these things, and she would always tell me, yes, Noni. And I would tell her about the tsunamis. I told her about the earthquakes, all these visions and everything that's happening on the planet. I had all those visions as a child. But it's very difficult growing up. You can't say these things, but I did tell them to my mother. She was the only one that would understand, and she was very supportive of me. She said I was born different because they had talked to her. That's why she told me this. So I knew when the first meditation occurred and I saw my guides and I knew what they had said, I understood. It was so natural for me, and my whole life changed. I dedicated myself to bring this enlightenment to humanity and to be of service. So really, I can say so much about my life. It would take a lot of your time. But the main telepathy, how they protected me, how they saved my mother's life, and all the visitations I started having as a child. Growing up, I was always taken. I was never abducted. Taken for higher learnings and for preparation for my purpose and what I was supposed to do in my lifetime here. And I was a contactee because I was always contacted throughout my life. And the channelings, the automatic writing, everything that's occurred with me, it never stopped. It's always something new, something different that develops. So it's amazing. And I'm trying to bring this awareness to humanity that as you move forward into the fourth and fifth dimension, all human beings will have the ability to tap into their own psychicness. That will make them be activated. So this is part of the process. Is there anything else you'd like to ask them?
Well, I mean, it's obvious that you're extremely gifted, and the experiences that you've gone through as a child, without a question, were meant for you to be here at this time, as you said, to enlighten humanity. But what we are to be enlightened to is the question. And for this audience, Alma and I spoke off air several times, and I posed a series of questions for her because she is going to be going into a trance in order to connect with her guides, in order to answer some of these questions. And in general, they're basic questions in the sense that so many people are so worried about all the earth changes that are taking place and the upheaval that is taking place now planet-wide, with this banking crisis, which has been engineered, of course, as this listening audience knows. So I posed a series of questions to her so she can go into a meditative trance, and then I will ask her these questions, but she's already taken these in. So, and the answers will be lengthy, so I'm hoping that we can get through all these, Alma. But I know I wrote down quite a few. They're generalized, but I think this is the things that are weighing on a lot of people's minds. So hopefully we will be able to get some direction, some clarity, through your beings of light and through Juno, so people could be put at ease or maybe not. We don't know the answers that we're going to get. I especially don't know. I'm very curious to this. I mean, I've heard opposing opinions on both sides of the fence on these questions that I've posed to you, that this audience will be hearing tonight. But the bottom line is the transition, the change is inevitable. We have to go through this as humanity, whether there's destruction in the beginning and then enlightenment afterwards. We still have to go through an evolutionary process of change, and that's basically the standpoint of where we sit right now.
Yes, I agree with you. There's a lot of information coming through. I'll have a question, because the universe and the guides will give to the audience whatever they feel at this moment is the most important. So what you have there written as questions may be answered accordingly to the appropriate guide and will come through. It may be Juno, or you may call upon others that would be more qualified and experienced to answer the questions. You may get through some of them, and they may add other things that are more pressing. What I want to say also to the audience here is that it was a long process for me. I went through everything you can think of to validate what was occurring with me, and all these activations within all Catholic background, and I wanted to make sure, and they apologized because the information that came through was beautiful and benevolent. They apologized, and they did not understand what was occurring, but they knew that it was benevolent. And they even took some of the information and asked me permission that they may use it in their own sermons. So then I went through various hypnotherapy sessions with professionals to verify a lot of these truths, and it was verified. I went through much, not only for myself, but I don't want to go publicly and say things that are not truthful. I want it to be exactly as the universe gives it, and I want the confirmation as truth.
I
so
agree.
Whatever I do, I go.
I agree, and whatever comes out will be the answers, and of course, things change constantly. It's not that
through my guide, through all the means available, and I would place myself through all these again. So I am at the present time.
All I was saying was that the answers that come through now are the answers that are at this moment, but it doesn't mean that it won't change. But anyway, Alma, we're coming up on a
camp and in disorder. As a result of this ignorance, these people are always caught by surprise when governments fail, wars begin, and economies collapse. Every day, with each choice, you define which group you are in. Survivalistseeds.com and patriotfood.com for the rest of us, those of us that are prepared.
No, I keep cutting it in.
Survival of the fittest.
Well, no, I'm
in
back.
all situations, survival is your #1 priority. That requires being tough and thinking smart. And the folks at Freeze Dry Guy are going to help you do just that. They have the long-range patrol ration entrees, what they call the break pack. When you're in survival mode, it is absolutely the best item for your survival pack or bug-out bag. You can go farther, faster, and carry more food with the LRP cold weather ration entrees. Not only do these long-lasting, durable entrees help sustain you or your family through the harshest environment or situation, they are by far the most delicious of their kind. No contest. With a variety of tasty entrees, you can't beat the LRP brick packs. Let Freeze Dry Guy help you in your survival situations. Go to freezedryguy.com. That's freezedryguy.com, or call 866-404-3663. That's 866-404-FOOD.
Serving the planet 24/7. The Micro Effect Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the Whole Agenda Radio Show, and I apologize for being cut off at the end. This is happening a lot more and quite frequently, and I don't know if it's the powers that be or just the basic technical issues that happen with new technology as we go forward. Alma, I apologize to you, and,
Yes.
and I know you needed and have to prepare yourself here. So if you need to take a minute, please take a minute to do so, and then we will begin with the questions.
Okay. I need to explain something. Since this is in a full trance state and you do go into commercials, before you go into commercials, just say to my guide, whoever is coming through, that you will be off the air. They will hold the energy so the audience does not miss any part of the transmission.
Right.
When you return back after the commercial, you say, I have returned now, you're back on the air. Can you please continue? So this way we can, be able to work it out in full trance state.
Absolutely.
People understand that they will work with you that way. But you have to ask them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I planned on doing that, and thank you for the reformation on that. And absolutely. So why don't you go ahead and prepare?
Okay. It will only take, I hope it's a short period, and you will know when it starts. And then when you need the commercials, just let them know.
And I
so
will
it can
do that.
go through with
Yes,
it.
yes, I will do that.
Okay, so my assistant is here holding the phone, so this is how we're going to work it out.
Okay, terrific. And for everybody who is just joining us, by the way, you are listening to ALMA Guthrie, and ALMA Guthrie is a gifted, a clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and telepath. She is able to go into a trance state to reach her guide, one of her guides, Juno, and other beings of light who basically go through her to give us the answers that we are looking for as we go through this transition from fourth to fifth density, or type 1 civilization, or an understanding of enlightenment and peace and wisdom for this planet, which has been in turmoil for so long, ladies and gentlemen. And the reality is we all want answers. What's going to take place physically on this planet, as well as the economic crisis that we are going through, which we can all see ramping up, and of course all the propaganda from the mainstream media that is being touted that there's nothing wrong, and so many people are still asleep at this point. And it's unfortunate because they're going to have such a rude awakening, and we are the ones who are going to have to help them through this transition. And sad to say, not everyone will make it through this transition because they are so attached to the material of this world at this moment. And I'd like to think that myself, I've become detached to a certain degree. We all have to function, of course, in our daily life to some perspective, but as being enlightened people, and I'd like to think of myself as one of the enlightened people, that I'll be able to make this transition into this new era of enlightenment and understanding, and like Alma said, that we are all telepathic, and hopefully this will transpire for everyone on the planet. So how are we doing, and is Alma almost ready? And I guess she needs just a little bit more time here. So the basic questions...
Who are you? Who are you?
Well, my name is Robert, and I am the host of the Whole Agenda radio show. And I bless you and thank you for coming through Alma to us, to this audience, to answer some questions. And who are we speaking with?
You are speaking to Istapi. Istapi.
Istapi?
Yes.
Hello, and thank you for coming through. And I have a lot of questions to ask. One of them being, the first one, and quite a few here, and hopefully you can answer them, is the state of the planet and how things are going to transpire physically for the planet, and how we will survive this if we do. Not all of us may survive this, but I know that the physical changes are taking place. And the very first question I would like to ask, if you can answer this, Istapi, because there's been so much activity on the Canary Islands, okay, we're pretty sure that if that volcano erupts and that mountain splits in half, will the east coast of the United States be hit by some sort of tsunami? And if so, when will it happen? And is there a time frame for this to occur?
I wish to state to you and to everyone who's listening, time is of the essence. The spiritual state of the human race is now in an awakening state, must be raised to another octave. Within this octave, it allows the human race to see clearly the signs and to tune in to the vibrational frequencies of the planet and hear the sounds and hear the warnings. You are all gifted beings. You all have these abilities to feel. When you feel in the air and within you that there is unbalanced energy on the planet, or in these areas you're saying, the Canary Islands, as well as we have also come through and said, it is also unbalanced in what you call the glacier Yellowstone area that covers a large portion of your nation, of the United States, California, and various states together. It is not just within this Canary Islands. The body of the planet Earth is that of your body. You have arteries and you have your veins. If there is a clog in your human body somewhere and it needs to be released, once it is released, it can expand its pressure and come out in any part of your body that you may call it a heart attack or a stroke. That occurs on your planet as well. I wish to explain who I am. I am a shaman. I have come many times onto your planet and been with all your indigenous races and cultures. And as such, I am now in another level, another vibrational frequency of existence, and have been allowed to come through to answer. What it is now that you're all experiencing on the planet is movement of your Mother Earth. Movement that you feel in your inner core of being. For the inner core of the planet Earth, they call Gaia or Terra, is a vibrational frequency that is touching you. It is reaching you. You are feeling this. Worldwide, the human race is feeling the changes within Mother Earth, and they are now sensitive to all these Earth movements. So we say, within this, that is the United States, is California. There too is veins and arteries. They are building pressure. And this is what we are concerned about. We are concerned about this pressure that goes through these states of the Yellowstone down to the Midwest, all the way to your southern states nearing the Mexican border, as well as the vein that also reaches the artery and pressure in your Mexico City. But we are balancing those energies of this volcano in Mexico City so that this energy does not affect a greater Earth movement. For there is great, great technology of your ancestors that were left behind in this city of Mexico City from your elder brothers and sisters from the stars. As these, you mentioned you want a statement from the Canary Islands. We can only say that as the body has these veins and arteries, there is a clog that not only can affect the Canary Islands, but it also moves under the ocean and under the ground, and it moves into these veins. The veins are then affected, and the pressure builds up into the arteries that can also come through other parts of the nation, such as part of the Alaskan territory within that land that was affected as one volcano that erupted within Iceland. There's also that vein and pressure that can affect the other volcano. Not only that, it's other veins that are caused by greater pressure, and this greater pressure can also be affected within this ring of fire. So it is what you would say a domino effect. This domino effect would create Earth movement, one affecting the other. Some would be above your land surface, sun would be above this, which is the earth, the water. The water is below, but below you have inactive volcanoes. And this pressure can cause then the pressure to build up and cause these eruptions where new land may come up into the water. There is, as you call your island of Japan, and in your past, you have to swell this large magnitude movement of the earth, of this island. But we assisted your elder brothers and sisters, the benevolent cosmic brotherhood, have always assisted. They do not break any laws, but they do assist. They assisted in the form with their technology so that this earthquake would not be at a greater magnitude level that would cause this island to go into this is the ocean we call Ashon. And this, we stopped this by the pressure that was balanced. This was being monitored as well underneath the island of Japan with our technology. We say we are saddened by this, the destruction and loss of lives. We are sorry for this, but we assisted to maintain the island afloat. But be aware and on guard for all these which you call the leaders of this nation and the world must give assistance if there's other earth movements to control what is there of danger within these nuclear installations that are damaged. All these must be then placed in guard and must be restabilized so they can withstand another movement. So we say to you, Mr. They call you Pepino, the host of this program. Please say on to your audience not to fear, for these earth movements will come about in different parts of the planet. What it is important is that you prepare yourselves spiritually, that you go forth in your spiritual evolution of oneness, of unity, of brotherhood. For love is the power on this planet that will save the human race and maintain a balance on your planet. The negativity is great on the planet, and we are trying in all our abilities and what we are allowed to do to balance the energy, so that these things that are prophesied to be can be avoided. Others will stay, for this is the purification as well of Mother Earth and of the human race to move forward in your next evolution, awakening, and a unity with others throughout this universe that have always been with you. They are your elder brothers and sisters. Now, do you have a question that is more specific, because we cannot give you a specific date on this Canary Island, but it is so that the pressure is building there, as well as in Yellowstone. There are many minor earthquakes, but as the pressure and this clog goes through all these arteries, it can then erupt in any point. But we are then concerned within the United States of your California. Most of our ships are within the Northern California, all the way down to the Southern California, Mexican states, and in this Mexico City. A lot of the ships are within your Middle East because of the turmoil and other underground movements. A lot of our ships are also now in this, what they call the land of Israel. So we are all throughout your planet monitoring all your events. Do you have any questions for me?
I do, Atapi. I just want to let you know that we are going to have to take a short recess in about 5-6 minutes. So I want you to be aware of that. So if you can hold that energy, it would be most appreciated. The next question I have is, and this isn't part of the group of questions that I had asked ALMA to give you, but this is one that I want to ask. Is the Earth starting to go through an expansion? Is it starting to grow? Is it going through a growth spurt?
Yes, of course. Mother Earth is alive. It needs to grow. It needs to purify itself. But it cannot do so unless the human race grows and purifies itself with it. It must be together. So we are a system that both the planet and the human race evolve together. This is what we wish all of you to understand. The planet cannot move in another cycle without the human race. You are part of this land. You are part of that creation. That's why you are the caretakers of this earth and of all life forms.
Very well said.
Commercial.
We have a few minutes and to expound on that question before we go to the commercial. Why has there been, on an evolutionary scale, so many cataclysmic events on this planet? What has led to those cataclysmic events? Have they been always part of a universal change and growth?
All life and all creation within this solar system and other solar systems must not remain stagnant. It is an evolutionary process of not just your Earth, but all the planets within this solar system. As you're moving up the frequencies, you're moving up into that which is of the greater sun's rays. The greater sun's rays are not that of heat as what you think, that you will be in extreme weather where the sun is not what you think. It is a fire. The sun only has the fire on the outer surface. Within the inner deep surface, it is a different atmosphere, and it is also one with life. All the universe and all planets and suns all have life. All that is has life. All that is created has life at different frequencies, vibrating at their own levels of evolution and state of beingness. So it's not just this planet. It is all your sister planets that will be evolving. So those that are beyond, which are your cosmic brotherhood, they will also be evolving, and they are assisting the planet and the human race to evolve to the next frequency, their next cycle, as it was in the past, through eons of time. You have this date, 3114 BC, where all this is creation and changes and all that is from this wisdom from the stars and creation of your Mayan calendar and all the wisdom that was given onto the earth. But think this, all that is of the time, including the times of the pharaohs and of the high priests, that were given this knowledge to be given freely and shared among all the inhabitants, was taken unto themselves and not shared. So time was manipulated, and so was that of your dates and your frequencies of your weathers and your stations of your weathers, and that which is what you term the days of the months. So all is unbalanced. It is not the right time. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand it very clearly, that we have to find balance where we have lost our balance. And I believe this is part of the reason we are going through this turmoil at this point. in our lives. I understand it. I believe that a lot of humanity does not understand it. They don't have a grip or an understanding of why things are happening. They know they've been manipulated, and the planet has been manipulated right along with it. So it's time to bring balance and change. It's more than evident now. People who try to deny it.
I will interrupt you, sir.
Well,
the balance is also the male and female.
Yes.
The male and female must create a balance for the evolutionary process to continue. There must be a balance.
I agree with you 100%. And please, can you hold your energy? We are going to take a break right now, and we will be back in just a few moments because there are many, many questions that I wish to ask you. And I thank you for being with us.
Positive testimonials from people who have experienced amazing results, like Reed.
I just wanted to send you a quick but a very big thank you for Heart and Body Extract. I've been on the formula for nearly a month now, and the improvement in the circulation of my legs has been simply amazing.
Reed was facing a tough choice.
I was facing surgery due to the severity of the 100% blocked arteries in both my legs. And my decision, waiting for surgery, to say no and try Heart and Body Extract instead, has been thankfully the right decision.
And the result?
I can now walk up steps without noticeable pain.
Order Heart and Body Extract at 866-295-5305, 866-295-5305, or hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract for a long and healthy life.
Survival of the fittest. In any and all situations, survival is your #1 priority. That requires being tough and thinking smart. And the folks at Freeze Dry Guy are going to help you do just that. They have the long-range patrol ration entrees, what they call the brick pack. When you're in survival mode, it is absolutely the best item for your survival pack or bug-out bag. You can go farther, faster, and carry more food with the LRP cold weather ration entrees. Not only do these long-lasting, durable entrees help sustain you or your family through the harshest environment or situation, they are by far the most delicious of their kind. No contest. With a variety of tasty entrees, you can't beat the LRP brick packs. Let Freeze Dry Guy help you in your survival situations. Go to freezedryguy.com. That's freezedryguy.com, or call 866-404-3663. That's 866-404-FOOD.
Hello, fellow patriots. This is Big John Lipscomb. There are just two types of people in the world. Those that see the world outside of themselves and therefore can finally estimate the direction things like the economy, the government, and society is headed, and those that can't. The majority of the people in the world are absolutely clueless to the trends and manipulations that go on around our world. To them, everything is by chance and in disorder. As a result of this ignorance, these people are always caught by surprise when governments fail, wars begin, and economies collapse. Every day, with each choice, you define which group you are in. Survivalistseeds.com and patriotfood.com for the rest of us, those of us that are prepared and wide awake.
Serving the planet 24/7. The Micro Effect Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the Whole Agenda Radio Show, and I'm your host, Robert Pepino. And our guest this evening is ALMA Guthrie, who is a gifted clairvoyant, clairaudient, and telepath. And she is channeling right now Otapa, who is with us at this moment, who is answering questions in regards to the physical changes that are going on this planet. Otapa, you still with us?
Yes.
And thank you for coming through ALMA and being with us to answer some questions. And my next question, and still regards to the physical changes that are taking place on the planet, is that there have been people on this planet who have had visions, who have created maps that all look very similar to one another. Now my question is this: is there going to be rising and falling of lands and continents, or a partial sinking, lifting of these land masses physically, and do you know where it will take place?
This has always taken place in your Earth's history. Why would it not take place now? So within this, the Earth and you are one vibration united with your Mother Earth. And within these changes, yes, they are occurring. They will cause movements that will, in partial, break parts of your Earth's surface and partial go underwater, but complete large pieces of a land, as for example the United States, it would not be all, it would only be a partial that would then break, and part would be separate in water. But other, where they have volcano activities on the ocean, inside the ocean, there are many volcanoes that are dormant. Once they become activated, they will then force the pressure upward and bring about land. But then that pressure will then affect the ocean, and it will create these waves of tsunamis that will then affect all the coastal areas that lie within the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, as well as the Gulf of Mexico, with other Earth movements in that area. So, within this island of Japan, if it wasn't for the assistance of your benevolent cosmic brothers and sisters, much of this island would be underwater. But it is very important that it maintain this island afloat because of these nuclear installations. You see the importance of this. And other nations as well, when this vein and these arteries build up into pressure, they will cause greater magnitudes and will cause the movement of parcels of land. Some will go into that, which is your water, and others will remain afloat. So we are assisting in this process. There are galactic legions of light from various world systems. There is not only one galactic federation of light. There are many galactic federations of light by various names, and there's the Galactic Federation of Light of benevolent races working to assist balancing these Earth movements. So not all of these maps, even though they are all very similar, can be then said to be a total reality and truth, because this reality can change by the mass consciousness of the planet sending their light, radiating their love, and placing this planet with a cocoon of light and all within inside with so much light that this will stabilize the planet, and many of these movements will be lesser and others will be avoided. But others will occur because that is the process of the purification and cleansing of your Mother Earth as well as the planet. And unfortunately, the human race only learns through these destructive events, but the human race learns when these things occur because it unites the human race and they see each other, that they are truly one race, one humane race, and they come forth and assist each other, each nation that is in need mutually become brothers and sisters and give each other a hand to lift up the nations. Why can you not do this at all times? Why must there be all these earth movements and destructive events and man-made wars? Why cannot the human race avoid these wars? Avoid polluting your oceans and avoid all these conflicts between your colors and your races and your religions that only separate you. But once all these earth changes begin and severe weather, climate begins, then you all come together and pull together as one human race. As it should be, you are one human race, one species, regardless of whom in your past life has come through eons of time to manipulate and change your DNA frequencies by all these different galactic phases that interact here on Earth. You now are the accumulation of all your past life experiences on this planet. You are all one race, one humanity, one species of a beautiful race with a combination of a collectiveness of unity and origin from so many beautiful galactic races. But not all are benevolent. There are also those that are against this, which is the planet and the human race, and have other agendas. But you are all a mixture. You are all brothers and sisters and united with others in the universe. Does that answer your question?
I think it does answer my question to a very certain degree. I want to ask you something else. Where do souls emanate from? And why are there so many souls here at this particular time? And why were there only a certain amount of souls on the planet in the past?
Who told you this?
I'm sorry?
Who told you this?
Nobody. I'm asking this question. Where do souls emanate from?
It is an infinity number of starlights and starbursts that come from the Creator Source. The Creator Source continuously creates life. Life is never stagnant. All life has free will, and all living souls of the humanoid souls of life, which is part, have a soul. Those that do not have free will and the mind to think have no soul. But these ones can be created, as many advanced civilizations have created many races. They are not of their planet origin, but they create them, and they look just the same as that creation of their planet, but they have no soul. But they still function within that society, within that planet, and they serve a purpose. Just like the scientific minds are experimenting, these bright minds on your planet coming together and doing all these experiments and make their own creations. These creations are not coming from the sparks of life, from the original creative force. Therefore, they have no free will, and they have no soul. So you cannot put a number on how many souls they are, or how many they were, or they are still being created. For it is infinite, and it continues throughout the universe, all its life, teeming with life. But what is of the soul essence is the free will and the mind to think. Those that don't have the free will not then have this soul essence. You understand that concept?
Yes, I very much so understand that concept. And you asked, where did the question come from? And it came from someone very dear to me, which is actually my mother, who wanted me to ask you that question. Very perceptive. Thank you.
Yes, just tell her life is never stagnant. It is always moving forward and evolving into great beauty and life and oneness with all that is.
May I ask the person who is holding the phone if there is any way to clear up the audio just a little bit, please? It sounds a little muffled to me, and I'm having a hard time understanding you, and I want to hear every word that you have to say. Otepa.
Then let me hold it close.
That's much better. Thank you very much.
Is that better?
It's very clear. Thank you. The next question I have for you is this. The world is going through a mass awakening right now. How do you see the situation turning out in the near future for humanity?
May I call on someone?
Yes.
Will answer that question for you. It will be a brief moment, and I will have someone come through for you. We bid you all peace and love and oneness as a species. We are with you always.
I bless you for that. Thank you.
Robert?
Yes.
Robert?
This is Robert. Yes. Who am I speaking with?
This is Juno.
Hello, Juno.
I am one with this vehicle of ALMA ATMA. We are light beings. She is in the physical body, and I am in spirit form. I am here to answer what you need to know, and those that are listening, to bring you comfort and hope.
Thank you, Juno, and I bless you, and I thank you for coming through to answer these questions for us, because as humanity, we are always looking for answers to our future, to see a brighter future for ourselves, and not this system of tyranny and evil that we are experiencing right now. Juno, I have this question for you. The world is going through a mass awakening, which I mean by that is humanity is going through a mass awakening. How do you see the situation turning out in the near future for the human beings who wish to be free? Now, I understand, Juno, that we are free, but we've enslaved ourselves to the illusion of what has been created through a small group of individuals on this planet. And where do you see our future in the next year or 2 years from now?
In an era of enlightenment, my brother, as in the past, you, the human race, has been controlled because you have always given your free will away. As you become enlightened to greater truths, as you become enlightened to the divinity that is within you and the oneness that you are with all creation, then that oneness becomes an enlightened state of being, and you become so much more aware of your surroundings. You come out of what you have termed the box, where you only see in one direction, for you are afraid to see in all directions, and you do not wish to come out of that box. But as you venture out of the box, you see in all directions, and you feel in all directions. So your sense of hearing, your sense of seeing, your sense of feeling and connecting to your higher self and knowing these divine souls that are within you creates your DNA to become activated. And once this begins, this process, you all will then be evolving. This is your next cycle, and everyone will go through whether they are ready or not. Each one of you will go through this process. Those that do not will remain at the lower frequency. Those that are allowing themselves to move forward will move forward. We are assisting the human race in this process. To need clarification.
How are you assisting us?
Do you mean assisting you spiritually or assisting in the planet?
But both.
We assist the planet. I am in spirit, but within all these galactic fleets that work in service to humanity for this earth, they cannot break universal law, but they can balance the energies of the inner core of your planet. They can balance your poisons, pollutions in your air to a state to sustain your life. We can then neutralize and balance all that is of your waters so that you can still sustain that living water force that is within you, that you take in as substance and your food. As this process continues, there's more contamination in the air. There's more contamination on the earth and the foods that you eat. So we are allowed only to a certain point to clear and stabilize and clean your pollution, your air and your poisons and your earth and your waters, to continue the species, the life of this planet. But we cannot interfere unless within your nuclear weapons that all these nations are beginning to acquire and wish to use, then we then at certain state are allowed, but not to interfere, but we are allowed to assist in dismantling and making them unavailable to be used, and speaking to your governments of the need of dismantling all nuclear weapons on your planet. For if this were to occur in what you would term a nuclear war, this would not only destroy the planet in 3/4 of your civilization and the human species, but that of your DNA structure of the survivors. It would change those that survived, and it would not be a species that you would even recognize. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand it very clearly. And, and my next question actually was, will they start World War III, and do we see this happening within the next year? And if so, will the use of nuclear weapons be used on the populaces of the world?
This is when the universe would assist. Brother, you must know that this planet affects all other sister planets. As one is affected in a nuclear exchange, all your sister planets would be affected as well. So when this would occur, that all the nations are coming together and use their nuclear weapons, then they would then be allowed to interfere with the great legions of light being seen throughout the world, so that your leaders of the world will know that there's a greater power, and to stop them from using these weapons, and many would be dismantled. This is how we would be of assistance.
May I ask you, Juno, may I ask you another question? When they first created these weapons, why were they allowed to be tested at that time when they knew they could create so much damage and destruction to the planet and humanity?
We will answer this. All that is of creation and of your scientific mind that create new, what you call them, experiments, or when you come into the light source of the creators, of the scientists that create a cure for new diseases, or those that create your phones, your TVs, the viewing boxes. All these creations are meant for benevolent purposes, including that of your atomic bomb, including that of your nuclear substances once they came together and studied with the composition of all the atoms, that which is of the particle, the God particle that your scientists are now searching for. They cannot find this God particle. The God particle is in all human souls. It's in all the universe and all living beings, that God particle. Not with these experimentations. They will find other results with these experimentations, and they may find that these results will be damaging to the planet and to your environment. So what we say, all is a benevolence. What creates a distortion of the benevolence and creates it into a destructive element is the negative forces that start using them for malevolent purposes. But all begins as light, as a benevolence, to assist the human race and to evolve technologically as well, but as a peaceful world, a united world, but not of destruction. That comes from the negative forces, the Luciferian forces that want this to occur, that want the destruction to occur, that want the contamination and poisoning of the planet, for only then could they take over and survive. There are various reasons, various agendas. It is not just one, brother. Do you understand that?
I do understand that. I have another question, and we are going to go to a break. And we have about 3 minutes, but we are going to go to a break. And I will ask you to hold your energy. And if I can ask this question quickly, or maybe you can give the answer after we take the break. will the New World Order that is creating this destruction be successful in enslaving humanity further? And the second part of that question is, are they being assisted by the extraterrestrial presence of the reptilians and the greys? And I understand, at least to this point, that the reptilian race and the gray race are not really allowed to really help humanity. They've been allowed to give certain information and devices, to my knowledge, ancient technology which is no threat to the Galactic Federation that exists, but yet they have still been able to manipulate humanity. Are they part of that process in the manipulation? And will we, the citizens, the ones who want enlightenment and peace and no more war and this ridiculous existence, this illusion that we live in, will we be successful, or will they be successful? And we're going to a break.
I will briefly say that another soul, another guide will enter. But we will say this. The battle of Armageddon is the battle for your souls. That is the battle of Armageddon. And there are two world orders, a benevolent one and a malevolent one. As there are cosmic brotherhoods of benevolence and malevolence, they are fighting these wars in space. As they are fighting these wars here on Earth, the victor will be the ones that will radiate all the love frequency, unconditional love on the planet. Love for one another and unity. Love will be what will triumph over the darkness and over this malevolent world order. It is love, brother. It is unity. Now, who comes through may expand on that.
I agree with you. Thank you, Juno, and I bless you, and please hold the energy for someone else to come through if they can answer and further expound on the question I asked, and I thank you for being with us.
Yes.
And everybody, this is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pepino, and we'll be right back after this break.
Heart and Body Extract continues to receive positive testimonials from people who have experienced amazing results, like Reed.
I just wanted to send you a quick but a very big thank you for Heart and Body Extract. I've been on the formula for nearly a month now, and the improvement in the circulation of my legs has been simply amazing.
Reed was facing a tough choice.
I was facing surgery due to the severity of the 100% blocked arteries in both my legs. And my decision, waiting for surgery, to say no and try Heart and Body Extract instead, has been thankfully the right decision.
And the result?
I can now walk up steps without noticeable pain.
Order Heart and Body Extract at 866-295-5305, 866-295-5305, or hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract for a long and healthy life.
Survival of the fittest. In any and all situations, survival is your number one priority. That requires being tough and thinking smart. And the folks at Freeze Dry Guy are going to help you do just that. They have the long-range patrol ration entrees, what they call the brick pack. When you're in survival mode, it is absolutely the best food with entrees help sustain you or your family through the harshest environment or situation. They are by far the most delicious of their kind. No contest. With a variety of tasty entrees, you can't beat the LRP brick packs. Let Freeze Dry Guy help you in your survival situations. Go to freezedryguy.com. That's freezedryguy.com or call 866-404-3663. That's 866-404-FOOD.
Hello, fellow patriots. This is Big John Lipscomb. There are just two types of people in the world. Those that see the world outside of themselves and therefore can finally estimate the direction things like the economy, the government, and society is headed, and those that can't. The majority of the people in the world are everything is by chance and in disorder. As a result of this ignorance, these people are always caught by surprise when governments fail, wars begin, and economies collapse. Every day, with each choice, you define which group you are in. Survivalistseeds.com and patriotfood.com for the rest of us, those of us that are prepared and wide awake.
Serving the planet 24/7.
Thing the men behind the curtain want is a conscious, informed public capable of critical thinking, which is why a continually fraudulent zeitgeist is output via religion, the mass media, and the educational system. They seek to keep you
President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it. And he took the step without approval from either the U.S. Congress or the people of the United States.
And welcome back, everyone. This is the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pepino. And if you're just joining us, you are listening to right now ALMA Guthrie. She's a clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and telepath. And she is in a trance right now, channeling the masters or the soul conscious beings, the spirits of higher enlightenment, answering questions for us right at this moment in regards to the future of this planet and humanity. And I don't know if we're still with Juno or are we with someone else. Are we still with Juno?
I am E.T.S. I am an adolescent. I'm here to answer your question.
Well, thank you for being with us. And can you please tell me your name again? I am sorry I didn't catch that.
I am E.T.S. E.T.S.
Econ?
Yes.
Well, thank you for being with us, Econ. And I don't know if you heard the question that I had posed before we took a little break. But the question I had asked is that the situation that is taking place right now on the planet with the New World Order, the elite dominating most of humanity and enslaving us further through their system of tyranny? Are they being assisted by the Greys and the reptilians at this moment? And what is their part in all this? In other words, are they doing this to further their own agenda for their own race? And I also realize that the Galactic Federation is very well aware of what's taking place on this planet, and they not so much allowing them to do what they're doing, but it's a non-interference process that they're undertaking right now. So the Galactic Alliance has not intervened or interfered with what the Greys and the Reptilians are doing. And the second part of the question is: are we going to be successful as humanity in overturning this system that they have put in place for so long, or will they be successful?
I am going to say that aboard these crafts, there are many, many crafts that each one has a responsibility to this earth and of service. Through eons of time, they have existed and have assisted the human race in their evolution. I have come many times to this vehicle of ALMA, a messenger here on earth, as many are here. And I came when her daughter was a teenager, and I was with her, assisting and guiding her. Now I am an adolescent, and I come so I can also touch the hearts of the young ones. The young ones need to awaken. The young ones need to know these truths. And these, what you have now said, these world orders, they have always existed. It is only of the time frequency that is of the essence because of the shift in consciousness. We are assisting the human race collectively to raise their love vibration so they may then see themselves as one humanity and not see the separations that exist and fight and create wars because of your belief systems. You have always have been manipulated from the beginning of creation and your evolution by various galactic races. So within this manipulation came the separation of all these races and religions, cultures, and you are all seated. That's why you are all different. You are a beautiful humanity. You are a mixture of many cosmic races. But as such, we place no judgment or point the finger at which of these galactic malevolent races have come to this earth to unite and mislead the human race for their own agendas, and who they have then worked with and now united as this one world government, being assisted by various ones from other celestial systems, not just these reptilians. There are various other races that have joined together because they have a purpose as well as this, which is a accumulation of great minds from all over the world. It is not just one nation. It is not just one of your leaders. It is many and many nations. They form a government, and these galactic brothers and sisters come from various parts of the universe that have also assisted, and they have also come through and have worked with various ones of your governments on the earth. Now, the other government, the government of light, work with the councils of light, benevolent cosmic brotherhoods from various solar systems that have united and have also spoken to many of the world leaders throughout the planet. It is not only one nation, it is various nations that came together and formed this one benevolent government. So you have two forces within one government, not only in this nation, but in every nation of your world. You have two governments, one of benevolence and one has other intentions. What the outcome would be is the collective oneness of the human race, raising their love vibrations as one species and controlling their own free will and not giving it away, to make their own decisions of what they wish for the future and the future of their loved ones. If they wish to go forward in peace and in harmony and unity, they have this power collectively by raising those energies, by sending love and light to the planet and all human souls. Love is the power that will triumph over the darkness, and you shall all be free. You will be led out of the darkness and slavery of ignorance into the light of truth, liberation, and become galactic citizens and unite and travel and be those that you have seen on your viewing boxes, going to different world systems, exploring other world systems. But we cannot allow you to do this if you are going to enter with technology that will be destructive to any planet that you will then be exploring. This is why we then interfere. We will interfere because we will not allow these weapons and these ill intentions within the solar system and other world systems to enter. So you have galactic wars continuing. They have always continued. We have always been around monitoring the planet, but you have brothers and sisters who defend you. You have brothers and sisters who fight for you. You have brothers and sisters that are preserving your life, your animal life, and this beautiful planet that is the jewel among the solar system. So yes, we are watching this planet. We are monitoring your events, and we are balancing the energies and increasing your love vibrations so that you may overshadow the darkness. So it is free will. Do you all want peace on earth and unity and salvation? Then raise your love vibrations. Send forth love to the planet and to all nations. Give each other a hand. Lift up your brothers. Share your resources. Judge not, for you will all be judged. Now you are one with all and one with your Mother Earth. And know that we are here assisting. We have always assisting. We are awaiting for you to join us. Does this answer your question, my brother?
Yes, it does, my sister. My young sister, but my very, very old and cosmic intelligent sister. I thank you for that answer. And I have one last question for you. After all of the earth changes have taken place, do you see us, the beings of this planet, hopefully all united to become that next level of civilization, a higher frequency, to the fourth, from the fourth to the fifth dimension or density, to join you and everyone else in the galactic universe.
Yes, we are assisting so that your love vibration and wisdom and awakening occurs. And when we reach that, when the human species collectively reaches a 20% frequency of your population, it's only 20% of your population. When it reaches that vibrational level, we will then be allowed to be seen in mass worldwide. And therefore, you will then know you are not alone, and the light shall triumph, for the darkness will exist no more. Do you understand the importance of this?
Yes, I understand it very clearly, but I also understand that with humanity, and this has been a repeated cycle within and throughout humanity, that there's always and I hate to say this, but it's very true, there's always been a massive loss of life with change. Can we break that cycle?
Unfortunately, the human race does not learn by their past errors. You had World War I, World War II, and you may have a World War III if your collective love for one another and forgiveness and a unity as a species does not occur. Then you are on that brink. By learning, you will then avoid the war, and you will all unite. But unfortunately, yes, you will suffer as well.
I understand that. What about the people, the good people? I consider myself a good person. I love and cherish humanity. What about the people who want to be part of the system now? How can we simply transcend and avoid this
You are doing that right now. You are service unto humanity. Various ones on the planet are of service unto humanity. You are awakening them with your programs and others who are doing this. You are being guided by your own guide, by your higher essence. We are also with you. Now, as we say, unfortunately, Mother Earth must also cleanse and heal herself, and so must the human race heal and cleanse themselves. And many, many souls will leave this planet. They will ascend. But once they ascend, they will be enlightened to higher truths and realities, and they will ascend. They will not have to go to the level of the lower frequencies. So this is a form of ascension. Others will ascend aboard crafts when the times come, those chosen for specific purposes. And others will then be the light workers that remain to transform the planet and the human race into a new world, a new era, one that you term utopia. You create your own utopia. You create, you manifest this by not allowing your free will to be taken away. And you allow this to occur by increasing your love vibration and truly becoming one humanity, brothers and sisters. You, my brother, are doing your part, and many on the planet, chosen ones, will be lifted aboard for a transformation or the preparation for a new government of light and councils of light, Others, unfortunately, will leave their bodies behind, but they will ascend with greater knowledge and light and unconditional love and move beyond the realms and frequencies of light. That is important to know, so these souls will not be lost and go into another state of being of limbo, for they have never been told the truth. Do you understand this, brother?
Yes, I understand it very, very clearly. Clearer than crystal. I don't even know what to say to that other than I await the change, because I am honestly so tired of fighting this battle. Once awakened to the reality of the atrocities that have been committed by soulless beings, and I say that because they do have a soul, but they don't realize it, so I call them soulless. I understand that we all have souls, but to commit and to perpetrate again and again the destruction of its own race is completely illogical to me. And they are the ones who have accumulated the technology, not for the betterment of mankind, but only for themselves. To think that they're the only ones who can create a civilization unto themselves, leaving the rest of humanity to suffer. When in reality,
I am sorry, my brother. They will not be able to do this. They cannot hide. They will not be able to carry out their plans. For we are everywhere, and we are right there behind them every step of the way. So these ones that think that they will control, they will be part of us when they see all our lights and ships around the planet, when the human race comes together as a human race should. This is your planet. Save your planet. Save the human race. We are assisting you to do this. We have never abandoned you. We are your elder brothers and sisters, even though I am now an adolescent. But I assisted this vehicle's daughter in her growth and also assisted in saving her life many times. She also has a purpose and a role in the future of other adolescents and young adults. You all have a purpose. You are a light being of great wisdom. By saying light being, not of your spiritual essence, but a light being that radiates so much light of your aura that you transfer that light unto others, and your wisdom and your truth carries a lot of frequency that touches others' lives. You are an awakener. You are a guiding light unto the masses as well. So we bless you, our brother, for the work that you are doing. We would not have allowed our sister, this vehicle, ALMA, ATMA, to be on this program if we knew not that this was going to be of benefit for all who listen. This is a message for all mankind. You are not alone. We are watching over you, and we have always watched over you, and there are galactic wars always going on to protect this planet and the human race. You are all such beautiful beings on this planet, a mixture of so many races in your DNA, that once you develop those frequencies and open up into your own activations, you will go far beyond what your technology has advanced in 100 years. You will advance 500 years.
I wish that for myself tomorrow. I tend to be a little selfish when it comes to things like this because I am so ready to move forward and leave and shed all this nonsense behind. And I say this, that I hope one day I am able to meet you in the physical sense because I am ready to move forward.
Have you seen our ships?
I have seen your ships.
Have you seen them close?
No, I have not, and I wish to.
Well, then you will have that opportunity, brother. You will have invitations, and you will have that opportunity.
Econ, I thank you. Econ, I thank you very, very much for coming through ALMA and for being a blessing and a guiding light for humanity at its almost darkest hour at this point. And I know we will transcend and shed our skin of the ridiculous things that have been created on this planet so we can move forward as beings of light, love, peace, and wisdom. I bless you and I thank you. And like I said, one day I wish to meet you and put my arms around you and hug you.
Yes, you will, and you'll meet many other races because you will all become galactic citizens. We bless you and we bless all humanity. And may this light touch the hearts and minds and souls of all this night.
I thank you.
Salutations and benedictus amoris unto all.
Econ, I bless you and I thank you and I wish you well in your travels and I hope to speak to you again soon. And everybody, this has been the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Pepino, and you have been listening to ALMA Guthrie, who is a clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and telepath, who we've been listening to her guides, transcending us through what we are going through. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Tomorrow night we'll have Bob Chapman and, of course, Margaret Ann. Everyone take care. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.